No, I don't see any waiting room. Oh, wait. I see Jasmine. I think we have Jasmine now. Jasmine, hi. Sorry about all the IT troubles.
It's okay. Hi, everyone. How are you doing? I don't know why it wasn't working for me. I think maybe because I was putting in as joining it with the ID, but now it worked when I clicked the
Oh.
link because I was doing it on my computer, not my phone.
Okay, well, we're glad we found you in the internet world.
Mhm.
I think we can get started, and then as soon as I see Chantel, I'll either she'll find us or I'll look out for her if we need to bring her forward. So I'm just gonna pull up the agenda
Thanks. Do you want to put it in the chat, Michelle, or do you want-
and share my screen, or the
I could, either way, whatever's easier. Hold on, I can, I think if we put it in the chat, we can at least see each other a little bit better, I think.
you mean
Yeah.
the link in the chat?
No, just the agenda itself. Hold on, let me try it. Oh, it's just a Q&A, no chat. That's weird. Okay, never mind.
Was everyone able to pull up the agenda?
Yes, I have it with me.
Great.
Do you want me to get us started, Michelle?
Yeah, I was just pulling it up. Yeah, that would be great, Claudia. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to officially call the meeting to order. So Anna is not able to join us this evening. So as Vice Chair, Michelle asked if I would, well, Michelle and I are going to tag team on facilitating the meeting. So, so the first item is the approval of minutes from the previous meeting, which was September 19th, 2022. So I need a motion from someone to approve the minutes, please. You can just put by show of hands if you want. Someone, anyone?
I wasn't there, so I can't.
Motion to approve.
Okay, so motion from Jasmine, thank you. And can someone second the motion? That might just be Yvonne, I think. I don't know if I can second it. Yvonne,
I think Yvonne has to.
yeah.
I wasn't at the meeting last time.
So this was the September meeting.
Oh, the September meeting?
Yeah, let me just check the
Yeah,
minute.
that's what I saw in the agenda. I thought it was sent wrong. So I second the motion to approve
Okay.
September meeting.
Thank you. So I do want to have some discussion. I don't know if anyone else has any items for discussion before we vote on the motion, but my name is misspelled throughout the minutes, both my maiden name and my married name. So I just want to make sure that's corrected. So it's Claudia, the correct is Claudia Werman, W-E-R-M-A-N, Connor, C-O-N-N-O-R, and it's misspelled throughout the minutes. And I do see that because I clicked on Sharon's link, I'm showing up with Sharon on this meeting. I just noticed that, but so that was the only point I had from the minutes. Were there any, so I don't know if, I guess Yvonne and Jasmine were the only other commissioners at the meeting. Did you have any other comments or discussion?
No, no discussion.
No, I don't have any either.
Okay, so then maybe we just vote on the minutes, please, to approve the minutes from the September 19th meeting. So all in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. So can Sharon not vote on that because she wasn't at the meeting?
I cannot vote on that. I recuse myself, but Christina's trying to get in. Can you?
Yeah, I
Oh.
just let her in. She came through the
Okay,
waiting
good.
room.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, Sharon.
Okay, there she is. Okay, so so we had, so all in favor.
Okay, I'm good now. Sorry. I am
That's
here.
all right.
I am just in transit. My apologies for being so late.
No, we're happy that you persevered, Christina. Okay, so let's just wrap up on the minutes. I think that all in favor were just for the today's meeting, Jasmine, Yvonne, and me, Claudia Connor, voted in favor. Any against? Any nays? No, and any abstentions? No. Okay. Oh, sorry, Melody abstaining and Sharon abstaining. Thank you. Okay. Any public comment?
Yeah, I think we have one person, Diane Loricella, who's joined us before. I'm going to unmute you, Diane, to give your comment. Okay, you should be able to speak.
Thank you. Can you hear me all?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if you could see me, but
No.
no, not yet. Okay, well, anyway, good evening. For the record, my name is Diane Loricella. I live at 21 Little Fox Lane in Norwalk, West Norwalk. I first of all, again, wanted to offer enthusiastic support that we have a commission on the status of women. However, I decided to spend my time tonight because for many reasons. One is, if you read the minutes of September, where I spoke, I have still yet to have a conversation with anyone from the commission. And again, we're all busy, but this had to do with a letter I wrote in, I think it was late winter or spring of this year. And I wrote it with compassion. I wrote it with due respect to all of women in Norwalk and the commission, and the fact that the city and the mayor put this commission together. I have yet to receive what I would suggest a respectful response, either meeting for coffee, coming into someone's office, even a Zoom call would be fine, nothing. And as a female consider myself a feminist and has always, as an environmental consultant, I work mostly in a man's world. I am rarely, it is rare when there are other women in the room. But I do know that it's important for us to have the sisterhood, have the camaraderie and the cooperation. I wanted also in a house, I'll be very brief, but I noticed that this particular meeting was not on the city's homepage. You had to click on the actual date on the calendar for the Commission on the Status of Women to pop up. So I just wanted to bring your attention to that. And when it did click over to finding the agenda, which is the second window, I clicked on the link for minutes and it went over to the fair housing minutes. A person would have to go through the 3 or 4 clicks to find this commission and then look up the minutes. So I think for ease of communication with the public and of course our elected and appointed officials, I think it would behoove this commission to find what IT is or is not doing, or maybe the staff, because it would just be so much more helpful for the public. Because I know you all want the public to participate. I welcome the new DEI officer. One reason I'm here tonight is I wanted to listen to our new DEI officer. I am happy that she has been found. I look forward to listening to her introduction. I want to make sure also that this commission considers meeting more consistently. If you look at the list of months where if you're going to meet every other month, which maybe you have decided to do that, okay, that's fine. But I just feel that there's a lot of things to do. And I think at least to get started, and then maybe quarterly meetings later, but to get started, to ramp up, there's so many good things that you all have talked about and that I have talked about in my letter. I do want to say that I think some of this has to do with training. I will say that lastly, in relationship to my letter, Many years ago, when our current mayor had first run for mayor, I spoke with him about his predecessor, Mayor Moshe, and how I felt it was important to try to revive this commission, which was started by recently deceased Bill Collins. And so, and that it was needed more than ever because of what happens in our world, our country, but also in Norwalk. And at the time, City Clerk Donna King, the mayor told me that Donna King, he said this in front of other people, told him that it wasn't necessary. And so this fast forward 3 or 4 years, and I'm glad it was found to be of interest to the city. But I do think that we still have issues that our DEI officer needs to address sooner rather than later, having to do with appointments and the lack of parity on several of our important boards and commissions, and also training for staff, training for board, commission, and authorities, which is where I have found my speaking truth to power has been met with, at times, bullying still, as recently as last month. And I think that's unnecessary and disrespectful to me, but also women. So with that, I look forward to trying to meet with the DEI officer and also someone from the Status of Women Commission, anybody, to just go over some ways that I think we can improve our lot. I know there's nowhere to go but up. Please, any of you that haven't read my letter, I would like it to be part of the record again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Diane. We appreciate your comment.
Thank you very much, Diane. Michelle, I think you're muted. Was there anyone else with public comment?
I don't believe there is.
Okay. Diane, your hand is still up. Did you want to add anything, or was that just from before?
I think it's from before.
Okay, all right, thank you. And Diane, we will take very seriously what you've shared this evening. So thank you very much for your patience with the commission and your passion for the work that we are here to try to accomplish. So thank you very much. Okay, the next item on the agenda is old business. So the first is follow up on ideas that were shared by Marguerite Loiter, the vice chair and former chair of the Arlington, Virginia Commission on the Status of Women. As you may remember, she joined us on at our September meeting and had shared a lot about what they're doing, what they have been doing in Arlington. Of course, they've been around. That commission has been around for, I think, quite a few years. But one of the things that she mentioned, and this actually we have later on the agenda as well as under new business, but she had talked about a number of things that they do, 3 things that they do every year. One is to give an award, the Women of Vision Award. One is to give input to the county board on the legislative package that they intend to take to the state. And the third is the city manager presents the city budget, which isn't really, and the county looks to the commission for their input, which was wonderful to hear. I'm not sure we're there yet, but with respect to the second item, it is something that we've talked about in terms of looking at the legislative agenda for the upcoming legislative session and inviting some of our representatives or state senators, state representative to join us. So, and then among us, like, and with our community, really mapping out what are some of the legislative priorities that align with the mission of the commission. And so we have talked both within this meeting and elsewhere about inviting some of our elected officials to join us. So I took the liberty of reaching out to Lucy Dathan and Bob Duff to ask them if they might be available to join us at our December meeting. I only reached out to them today, so I haven't heard back, but I did want to get that ball rolling because I've heard both from a number of you that you felt that would be a great way to go. And then we can have conversations with them and then decide for ourselves how and what we want do. But I think it's one way of aligning our work in Norwalk with potentially really impactful work at the state level, and where we could really lift up the voices of the women in Norwalk and the community writ large in hopefully a meaningful way. So that was one takeaway that I thought was, from Marguerite's presentation. Anyway, are there either thoughts on that, feedback, or other ideas that she shared that people want to kind of pick up? Or yes, Sharon.
I completely agree. Well, first I want to say thank you guys for inviting her. I thought that was pretty brilliant to bring in somebody with that kind of experience that can help us with best practices. One of the comments I would make about asking Bob Duff and Lucy is perhaps we invite Dominique as well. She's a new state rep and her focus is gender equity. So if you can, that would be terrific. Another one of the things I wanted to mention is that Marguerite talked a little bit about bringing in a nonprofit every month as a way of highlighting organizations within the community. And since we can't seem to get a survey out, this could be a really great way for us to get inside of what's happening in our community. And so I loved that she did that. And if there's any way that we could start doing that, that would be terrific. That's it for me.
Thank you, Sharon. Any other, yes, I will reach out to Dominique and thank you very much. Other comments, suggestions, questions?
No suggestions, but I agree. Yeah, I think especially adding Dominique to come to just makes sense, and it'll be cool.
Great.
Mhm.
I will reach out to her this evening.
And let
Okay,
us know once Bob Duff responds, please.
absolutely, yeah. Okay, so the next item under old business is reports of the committees. So we'll start with the nominations committee. Christina, since I'm chairing this, I'll turn it over to you if you don't mind.
I am so sorry. I was trying to speak 2 seconds ago because I had pulled over to kind of sign on to the Zoom call and then I had to get back on the road. So I'm sorry. So 2 things. One, I apologize for the chaotic response, but the first thing I wanted to go back just a minute to the engaging the, our folks like Bob and Dominique to join. And this is I'm just gonna double check. Are there, in the true spirit of inclusion, is there any diversity in political party that we could also bring in to listen to and brainstorm with?
I can address one thing that we would be discluding Terry Wood, who is a Republican, row 8 in Norwalk. She's a state rep, if you want.
Okay.
To.
So
There's some other men too.
I'm sorry.
And there's like, I think 2 other state reps too.
Right. So I'm wondering if we should be intentional in our outreach. That's all, just a thought that I want to suggest. And then regarding the nominations report, I don't have my notes in front of me. I know we discussed it in advance of the last meeting. I'm terribly sorry, folks. I had a meeting that ran over late and I wasn't home in time.
So I can pick, so on the, so let's parse those 2 things out and just go
Yes.
back to the thank you, Christina. So on the legislators, maybe we get some discussion on what people think about, do we invite all of the people who represent Norwalk, either in the state Senate or the House of Representatives? Or how would you like to do that?
I just want to go back to the,
Giving,
oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I'll go after you, Michelle.
I was just gonna go back to the goal, just to see if everyone agreed on the goal. which was to kind of hear what legislation was being proposed, what ideas were being put forth, and find something that the commission would then support. I feel like that's either a report or a discussion from the right person. So to me, it's reaching out to everyone and kind of seeing who's prepared to give that. Because I know December, I think, some legislation will be out there and then some won't, right? So I wonder who would be prepared to share that kind of information. But so I just wanted to backtrack on the goal and make sure that that was what everyone had in mind, unless folks had other goals in mind while reaching out.
I was gonna say this. I was gonna say the same thing, to reach out, to give everybody an opportunity to join, whomever wants to or can, would, instead of selecting different, give an opportunity to everyone, anyone who's willing to.
Yeah, Sharon.
I just wanted to add, if it's possible, another goal, if we can look at funding opportunities as well from the state level. And Lucy, Dathan, and Bob would be perfect for that. I understand your concern though in inviting 5-6 people, but I'm open to any of that.
Other thoughts, comments?
One other comment is just, I think if there's more than one goal, then maybe whichever one's appropriate for a December meeting to address, and maybe if there's a separate goal, that would be good for a January meeting. Just a thought.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. So also, so we're not, I mean, to have a whole group, 5 or 6 people would take, we want to give due time, and that would take time. So, I mean, I think both of the goals that have been suggested are what I think would be valuable in having those people join us. And I mean, we could start with, I mean, we could see if Bob Duff and Lucy are available in December, and then, talk to them both about the fundraising opportunity, funding opportunities, as well as sort of the legislative agenda. But meanwhile, reach out to all of the people in our community who represent us, and just kind of let them know we'd like to reach out and see if they're available in January, for example. So, does that sound okay to folks?
Yeah, I was gonna ask to just separate them, so like not all 5 or 6 have to come to one meeting.
Yeah, I agree, Jasmine. It's a lot. Okay, so yes, Sharon.
Sorry, I would just say, as part of like our strategy, perhaps it's bringing, a couple people in every, once a quarter or every 6 months, and sort of just rotating them, because then it keeps us abreast of what's going on, and we can continue the conversation and still make people aware of us when these funding opportunities come up or anything related to women.
I like that idea. That's great. So why don't we just wait and see what I hear from them? If they can't, one or both are not available in December, I'll reach out to someone else and see if we can get maybe 2 people to join us in December, and see if we can start lining people up for the new year, January, February, or later. Okay, great. Thank you. On Christina's second point, the nominations committee, because I'm the other member of it, we did meet, and just very briefly, at that time, we had 2 vacancies because the commission had a vacancy, and then Ileana Zuniga had to step down. So now we have a new member who I know Michelle is going to introduce at some point. But we just, we had, Christine and I talked a little bit about the process for filling vacancies, and thinking about the presentation that Sharon and Jasmine had done for Leisha King and the mayor, and just sort of thinking about what our process is for that, which being so new, we have an opportunity to kind of put a process in place for future vacancies. We still do have 1 vacancy. So I think it would be, I think making the public aware of the fact that there's a vacancy, and I would I'm not sure the best way to do that. So I look to all of you to give some ideas on that.
Are you looking for ideas right now?
I'm not sure what's the best way to do that. I'm also mindful of time and we want to, hear from others, or to schedule a separate, or maybe talk about that in the December meeting. I don't know. What's the best way to proceed with that?
I think we address it in the presentation. So maybe after we meet with LaToya and she has some feedback and you'll be in that meeting, then we can sort of all get together maybe.
That sounds great, Sharon. Yeah, that's good. Okay, that's a perfect set of next steps. And I see Jasmine has a thumbs up, so that. Okay, so research committee. Not sure who wants to speak on behalf of the research committee. Yvonne.
I'll go.
Off mute. Excellent, thank you.
So, so Sarah Randall Garcia is still maternity leave, and our team tried to meet, but we couldn't find a time to get together. So we'll catch you up at the next session with our activities. I do have a little update though on the Youth Commission, the youth group with Bob Cosienda. I have heard back from him, and he says that he never got a response from the city of Ann Harbor regarding the budget on the stock in the restrooms in the city. Nevertheless, they had some research that shows that other cities like Dallas, Fort Worth, East Austin, and Los Angeles were had implemented this program of the free pads and tampons successfully. So we have divided the list, and we are both reaching out to a couple of cities each to get some information about budgets and what kind of funds they were able to pursue in order to make this possible. So that's the update I have for today.
Thank you, Yvonne. Any questions or comments on what Yvonne shared?
I was just gonna add, Yvonne, if you don't mind, if we could close the loop on the budget that he was referring to and what next steps the city might be able to help with and gather information about.
Yes. Yeah, so we are pursuing more budget information from these other cities that have been able to implement the program successfully. So once we kind of have an idea on what's the cost and how they were able to acquire the supplies, we'll be able to kind of start researching a budget for ourselves.
Okay, great. If you need anything from the city in the meantime, or have any questions, just go through the email.
Yeah, thank you. We have a couple of emails out, so hopefully people will respond, although this is a short week, so hopefully next week.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Yvonne. Okay, the last committee report is the diversity committee.
Yeah. So I first want to say, Michelle, thank you so much for all of your work in getting us connected with LaToya. So as you guys know, we put together like a 22-page deck that has all of these ideas for how we can diversify our boards and commissions. And now we have a meeting with LaToya on November 30th, and we're really excited. So this will be our second time presenting this deck to the city. And hopefully it's a turnkey deck. And I want to thank everybody on the diversity committee, Christina, Jasmine, Anna, Shannon, and Claudia, of course, for joining us. That's my update.
Beautiful, thank you. Any questions or comments on the diversity committee update?
I'm sorry, I do want to add to that. In regards to to Diana, who was at the beginning of, she was doing public comments. I did incorporate her suggestions into the deck. So, and I did respond to her as well on the original email back in March. So if she's watching, I want you to know your recommendations are in that deck. There is training and so much more. So that's my recap. Sorry about that. I forgot about that.
Thanks, Sharon. Okay, so the next item of business is the new business. And the first item is to introduce Melody D'Alessandro. I hope I pronounced it correctly, and Michelle's going to do that. Thanks, Michelle.
Yes, thank you, Claudia, and sorry to both Melody and Latoya that the introductions are in the second half of this meeting, but so excited to introduce you both. Latoya is a little further down in the agenda, but starting with Melody, our newest commission member. Just a little bit about Melody's background. She earned her undergraduate degree in psychology, Spanish, and public health from Boston University, and has a master's in public health, where she specialized in health, equity, social justice, and human rights. And Melody has over 10 years of experience in biopharmaceutical industry work and a strong background in global clinical trial industry work. Of course, Melody, I'll let you introduce yourself after I finish, in which I'm sure you can elaborate better on some of these really specific items in your great background. She also has experience from this work doing operational, business development, financial management work, and currently serves as director of Vitality Clinical Research, a clinical research organization that contracts with physicians in Connecticut and New York to conduct clinical trials. And she's responsible for the strategic vision of its deployment, as well as all financial and operational aspects. She's also a proud first-generation Hispanic American Argentine descent, and committed to public service and advocacy. We're so excited to have you, Melody, and I'll let you introduce yourself and expand on your bio and background.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, I'm very excited to join this group, and I wholeheartedly look forward to working with every single one of you to truly make an impact on our community. I did make a comprehensive bio, so that's a very good introduction to my academic and professional background. I honestly look forward to making an impact. Social justice is very near and dear to my heart. I am a first-generation Hispanic American. My parents actually immigrated to the United States from Argentina about 35 years ago, and I've always been involved in volunteer service and really making an impact in my community and making sure that we can close those gaps on inequalities in many different groups. So again, I look forward to joining the group and making some headway here.
Thanks, Melody. Everyone's so excited to have you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Melody. Thanks, Michelle. Okay, so Michelle, I'll leave it to you to introduce Latoya, which is our wonderful next agenda item.
Yes, and Latoya, again, thanks for your patience this evening and thanks for your willingness to join us. Everyone's so excited to hear from you and that you, so excited that you joined the city. So just a little bit about Latoya's background. Most recently, she was the director of the Restorative Justice Project and Youth Speak Up at the Center for Children's Advocacy in Hartford. Her background includes working closely with the city of San Jose, California, to facilitate community engagement discussions and navigate social justice issues. She's the first diversity, equity, and inclusion officer for the city of Norwalk, so that's incredible. And she will be responsible for developing and implementing diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging strategic goals and activities, and tasked with setting key equity performance objectives and operational indicators, and working closely with HR and a whole bunch of departments to identify training opportunities and help educate employees and managers on how to achieve these DEI objectives. So we're so lucky to have her, and I'll let Latoya introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's really good to be here with y'all tonight. Excuse me, I'm in my comfortable clothes. I have some pretty hard boundaries about my nighttime, my nighttime space. So I keep it real cozy at nighttime. And just feel like I think that's part of, getting to know people and having authentic relationships. So if you catching me at a night meeting on Zoom, I will be in comfortable clothes. And this is just what you're going to get. but I'm really excited to take the role as a DEI officer in Norwalk. Give you some background on me and my connection to women empowerment. I actually got my start, working with young girls. I was a classroom teacher, and I noticed my female students were not, they lacked the confidence of their male peers, but they were clearly smarter than all the boys in the classroom. And so I had a lunch one day with my female students and I asked them, hey, why don't y'all raise your hands in class? What's going on? And they started to open up, and I heard a lot of common themes: a lack of self-confidence, a lack of, awareness about themselves, and then also a lot of like body image issues and feeling uncomfortable with their bodies and the space that they felt they were taking up in the classroom. So I started having lunch with those girls every day, and eventually I created a girl empowerment nonprofit called Queen Hype. And it was like one of a kind in San Jose. I started right away doing the empowerment workshops with them. And then that evolved into teaching them how to take meetings with elected officials and making sure that their voices were at the policy table. And then that eventually turned into Youth Hype, because the girls said, hey, we don't just need this, all young people our age need this. And so it turned into Youth Hype, which is a youth empowerment nonprofit that I ran in San Jose, California, for a number of years while I was a teacher, and then later became an administrator. And I connected actually with the Commission on the Status of Women in Santa Clara County. So I was really happy to see that there's a commission in Norwalk at the city level. I've only seen it at the county level and the state level. So I thought that was really impressive. I'm really excited to see what this commission is going to do, and I'm excited to support however I can. I have a huge background in community organizing, and a lot of the work that we did in the Commission on the Status of Women around incarcerated females, homeless females, holding a girls summit every year and teaching girls how to activate their voices and move into roles on boards and commissions. And then so just really, I'm really excited to just think about you guys are talking about process, how we create processes here in this space that are equitable and that can keep the legacy of this commission moving forward, regardless of who's in those seats. And, my recent work in San Jose, I organized a number of community engagement conversations, of course, with the mayor and a number of elected officials, city council members, but more importantly, created a space for the community to be the ones co-authoring policies. So it wasn't just about having conversations with community members and elected officials, but it was about putting community members on boards, on commissions, running for school board, running for city council, and actually winning those races. And so that was really powerful work, facilitating restorative justice circles between police officers and community members who felt they had been harmed by some of the things that had happened. And then also allowing police officers to build healthy relationships with community members and build healthy relationships with schools. And so I've done a lot of work when it comes to being on the ground in the community. I'm an activist, I'm an advocate, I'm an educator, I'm an author. I've designed a number of curricula, and just really honored to be in this position. I've been living and breathing DEI before everybody was sipping this Kool-Aid. I remember talking about DEI my first year teaching and people being like, this is crazy, when I said we need to start going on diversity dates. People who don't talk to each other need to start talking to each other about their cultures. So to just see it fast forward now, about 15 years later, is really cool. So I'm really excited to be in this space and to support however I can, to be an ally to y'all, to amplify your voice, and also to make sure that this space is not just a space where you're inviting elected officials in and you're talking to them, but also like you're going to them with policies and saying like, these are actually the policies that like we want you to push on behalf of women. And so I'm excited about that part and to help drive some of that forward, and whatever else we can do in this beautiful sisterhood, because I think it's pretty clear who run the world, right? So thank you for having me in this space, and I look forward to the work we're going to do together.
Thank you so much, LaToya. Does anyone have any questions for LaToya? I know you're all so excited. Okay, I think Chantel, right? You have a question?
Yeah, well, more of a comment. I can't have it. I love your energy. I can see going forward, you're going to bring a lot to what we're doing. Talking about comfort, I forgot to apologize to everyone. I'm sitting in a bedroom for this meeting, so it's not the most professional environment. But LaToya, welcome. I look forward to learning from you and work with you on this in this forum and make it what it's supposed to be, what we aim for it to be. Welcome.
Thank you.
Sharon.
Just want to say big welcome to you. You're like the hope that so many people have been waiting for years. And I am so glad to see your face and your enthusiasm and your boots on the groundwork, because we know that is so important. And I think you're really going to love this community and you're going to fit in great. And I wish you the best. And I look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
I also have a comment. This is Yvonne. Hi, LaToya. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are looking forward to learning from you. As you can see, although we have been together in this commission for a year, we are pretty new on navigating these systems, and we are all involved in community work, but in different ways. So getting the support of someone like you that has been doing this for years is so valuable to us.
Thank you.
I'm just going to chime in, LaToya. Just huge thanks for joining us this evening. And, to you and Chantal, I think we, just want to say, I think comfort is key, and we never have to apologize for that. And some of us are still at work and others are not. And so it's just incredible to be together. And as Chantal said, your energy is contagious. And I think you'll be really happy when you see the presentation that Sharon and Jasmine and others have put together for the mayor and Leisha King, because it does include a lot of, or some of the things that you were really advocating for, that idea that you were, encouraging us to be activists and bring proposals forward. And that's very much what's in there, including engaging with you. So we're really, I really look forward to meeting you as well, and welcome to Norwalk. So,
Thank you.
anyone else? Well, thank you so much. You're welcome to stay, or you might want to just get on with your evening, whatever you wish to do. But thank you so much.
Yeah, you are very welcome. I'm about to go to sleep.
Good for you.
I'll see y'all next week. I'm really looking forward to the presentation, and Michelle's got my information. And any of you ever want to, connect one-on-one, you want to get coffee, lunch, you want to have a phone call, please do not hesitate to reach out. Like, sister means, that's real for me. So, I truly am an ally in this with you. So if any of you ever want to connect that way, Michelle, you are free to give out my information and we can connect.
It's a wonderful invitation. Thank you so much. I'm sure you'll be hearing from some of us. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
Thanks so much, LaToya.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, that's exciting. So the last, where are we? Okay, so the next item is to look at the dates for the 2023 meetings. And that was attached to one of Michelle's emails with the agenda. So
I'm happy to share my screen and explain it too.
that'd be great. That'd be great.
Hang on one second. Share screen. Oh, okay. Can you all see it? This Word document?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay, great. So in order to rid the problem that we had this year, which was a lot of our meetings were falling on holidays, right? Diane brought that up. I wanted to see for your consideration if you all would be interested in scheduling meetings on the second Monday of each calendar month at the same time at 7. And we're still open to other, if there's another idea you want us to explore, that's great. I don't think we need to have these meetings confirmed until mid-December, so you can think about it. But this was just one idea. The only Monday on the second Monday of each month that fell on a calendar date, fell on a holiday was October, which fell on Indigenous Peoples' Day. So I moved that one to the Tuesday of that month. That's why it has an asterisk there. But we can be creative. If there's something else folks prefer, I'd love to hear about it. Doesn't have to be a Monday, for example. But we definitely, I think, want to aim to find a consistent day of the week / month that does not fall on holidays. Any thoughts?
Michelle, it's Christina. Thank you. That helps to lay it out like that. And because I don't know if we, forecasted that out like that previously. So that's very helpful. Mondays seem to be working, but that's just my 2 cents.
So it is really helpful. The only thing I would say is that in our bylaws, it says the 3rd Monday of the month. So I don't know what the process, we can certainly vote to change that. I just would want some guidance on how we do that.
Yeah, I was told that each commission at the moment is getting together their days and they are able to change it. I'll find out if we do need to take a vote in December to change it in the bylaws, and I'll get back to you all. But assuming that we can change it, which is what I was told, would you like to keep it on the second, or not keep it? Would you like to change it to the second Monday of the month, or is there another preferred idea that we should explore?
Do you need a motion?
I would. I just wanted to make sure there was no other ideas before
Got
we did that. But it
So
doesn't
far,
sound
this
like it.
so far this proposal looks good. So
Mhm.
let's see what the town says.
Yes, looks good.
Agreed.
So it's Christina, I'd like to move that we take this proposed calendar into consideration pending bylaw review.
I'll second that.
Excellent.
And thank you for addressing that big issue.
I know, right?
No
And
problem.
I guess for the record, I'm sorry, we have to vote and then I have a comment.
I can't see everybody. Maybe Christine, sorry, Michelle, could you stop sharing your screen?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sure.
That's all right, just for the vote. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so do you want to lead the vote? We'll just take a vote. Okay, so if everyone is in favor of the motion to consider the dates that moving to the second Monday of the month, pending, confirmation about our ability to amend the bylaws, please raise your hand or say aye.
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 All against? Nobody is against, and anyone any abstentions? No. Okay, so it passes unanimously.
And just for the record, I guess for the minutes, if it does become an issue with the bylaws, that whatever the change be, that we actually not prescribe a day of the week, but just say at a mutually, so just in the future, I think if we do have to amend the bylaws, which I hope we don't for this, but if we do, it should be a simple amendment. That we just make sure that the language is a little bit more flexible so that the group itself can decide upon days to meet. So.
Great. And on that same note, I was just going to share one update about the website in terms of the minutes, the agenda, the calendar. If I could share my screen one more time, is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. hang on one second. I think it's just easier to see. Because we had a website change recently. I think making things a little bit more clear. Okay. So can you see my screen? Okay, after you go to,
Yes.
so normally you go to agenda and minutes, meeting notices. And I wanted to show you that this has been updated, just in case you are confused in the future and don't recognize the screen. So for meeting notices, that's where you go to get the board and commission updated meeting list. And so you click it right here. And this upcoming meeting list is what has been updated by our IT team. So I just wanted to make sure you saw, because it's new. One great update as well is vacancies. So if you go over here to vacant members, you can actually see in a more clear way on each commission, and I think this will be helpful to your upcoming meeting about boards and commissions, which commissions have vacancies. So this has just been updated. I think it's a lot more clear, and I wanted to make sure that you guys knew how to access it, because it will also impact how you find, how the public finds the meetings and the agenda. So that's all.
That's great. It looks great. I was looking at it earlier and looking for pulling the minutes from the previous meeting. So yeah, well done to the IT team at the city. Okay, so our last official item on the agenda is to propose a meeting with a member of the state delegation in December. We already covered that. So I think unless there's anybody who has anything else to say on that, I think we're okay with that of our next steps. And any other business before we adjourn, or anything anybody wants to say? Okay, well, thank you for your patience with me and my struggling along with the Roberts rules. Although I'm getting better than I was like 4 months ago.
No problem. So
You're
motion
doing-
to adjourn.
Yes, I will take
Doing
a motion
great.
to, yes. So motion to adjourn. Was that you, Christina?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a second?
A second.
second.
Thank you all. Have a wonderful holiday. And so our next meeting is Monday, December 19th, 2020.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're doing great. Thank you for your work.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Michelle. Thank you.